afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am Jeffgrantmedia. In today's video, we are going to be doing a one-to-one comparison between the Heroclip and the new to the scene 8Timber gear hooks. Now, I will be testing these out over the next couple of weeks, giving them a one-to-one in a lot of different situations. This kind of spurred because I did do a quick little desk hang test between the Heroclip and the 8Timber hook, and the 8Timber hook did not fare too well. But after that, if you have been involved in the carry community, you may know the name Stephen Boyd. Well, he did a mod where he took a little piece of dual-walled heat shrink and he stuck it over one of the 8Timber hooks. And what this did was give it a little bit more of a grip. So I went ahead and I did that mod myself. And once receiving these 8Timber hooks, after giving them a look, I've got a sneaking suspicion and which these are going to excel at and which the Heroclip is going to excel at. So before we get into all of the testing, which we're gonna do plenty of, I wanted to do a quick little rundown. Both of these hooks come in at about the $20 range, but the Heroclip is about $23 for a single Heroclip, where the 8Timber hooks are $20 for a pack of 5. So you actually get 5 of these for 20 bucks, and you get one of the size medium Heroclips for $23. But don't let that fool you, because there is still value for both of these. $23 for a single one is still a very good purchase, and $20 for 5 of these is a very good purchase. So don't let the price point fool you. There is value to both of these at that price point, and I believe the price point to be a fair price point. Now, this is a size medium, which is probably the most common. Now, this will hold roughly 100 pounds of weight. I could not find a weight limit for the 8Timber hooks on their site, but I will say this is shock cord. It's not just like paracord, so there is some stretch and there is some give. So you will see a little bounce going in these if you're going to hang that 100 pounds, but I don't know if this will accommodate a 100-pound capacity. Secondly, the hook size. You can see the Heroclip does have a little bit wider of a hook, but the 8Timber is a tad longer, and the 8Timber has these here, which are where you will clip your actual, it's hard to do, where you can clip your shock cord, and you can actually modify the length of it so you can make it shorter. If I can do it again, you can make it up to about that short, down to about that long. Now, one of the other things I noticed right away is that clipped on my bag, the 8Timber hook does take up a lot more real estate than the Heroclip, and that's because the Heroclip folds in on itself, where the 8Timber hook is just, it's the hook and the shock cord. There's no folding, there's no moving pieces. So the bulk factor may definitely come into play for some people. I know for me, I do like the smaller footprint of the Heroclip over the little bit larger footprint of the 8Timber hook, but for some that might not matter, but for others it definitely will. Now, for the most part, I will probably be testing with this 15-liter bullet, because this is currently my EDC, so this is what I'm going to be having on me in most occasions. Now, that being said, I have used this Heroclip on a multitude of different packs, and it's worked in most situations. There's been some situations where the Heroclip did not work, and some of them is what I have a suspicion where this here 8Timber is really going to shine, but I won't know till I get out there and actually do some testing. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and do 1 to 2 weeks or so of testing on both of the hooks, just 1-to-1, each of them in the same situation, see how they handle, and then we'll come back here and do a conclusion to see, does one blow the other completely out of the water? Or what I'm thinking is gonna happen is one is gonna be better in a certain situation and the other will be better in a completely different situation. And that's where, at least in my mind, I'm already set, was I think the Heroclip's gonna shine in a couple of different situations, and the 8Timber is definitely gonna shine in a completely different one. But we're gonna find out. Let's go ahead and start the testing. We're gonna start with my very first test, and that is the desk hang. There's a Heroclip. Set that on there, kind of as I normally would. It's got a little bit of rocking, but that is mostly from the handle. It's mostly rocking down here from the handle, not from the top. Take the Heroclip off, kind of just throw it on there, be a little more rough with it. We got a little bit rocking action, but you can see right here, the Heroclip is staying in place. It's not dancing around at all because it has a little rubber foot here. So now we'll take off the Heroclip, and we do have a finger hole here on the 8Timbers, which I do grab sometimes, but this is only a 15-liter pack, and that's definitely putting a lot of stress on my finger. So I generally kind of just palm it like this. So here we go. We'll go in for the approach. It's I was a little softer there, but you could see we're walking a lot. It's spinning, it's pivoting, not quite too bad. We'll try it with the finger. Same basic thing. There, oof, we got a big swing back. It almost fell. I will say the very first time I didn't film it, I was just testing. I put the 8Timber on, it fell right down to the ground. Actually, the first 2 times, it fell completely off the desk. So finger hook again, will be a little softer with it. Not too bad. Now we'll finger hook, kind of how I did the Heroclip. I just kind of toss it up there, and boom, falls right down. So you have to be, if you're gonna desk hang, with a standard, basic, out-of-the-box 8Timber, you gotta be real careful with it. Now let's try with the SB mod. Okay, we'll start with finger hook. Being a little more careful, a little cautious. Okay, we got some pivot going on, but the very front is, it's gripping. Even though it's pivoting back and forth, it's actually staying in place. It's not walking back and forth. So it'll be a little more rough with it. Same basic thing, it's walking itself back and forth, but you can see right here, it's still staying right about where I put it. Now we'll do the paw, as I'm calling it. Throw it on there. We got a little bit of walk back, but not much. Not nearly as much as we did without the SB mod. And then we'll paw it and set it down easy. I had a little bit of a slide back, but I did put it a little further forward, so let's just be a little more cognizant there. Okay, so right out the box, we could see very first test, the SB mod is working much better than the non-modded version of the 8Timber hook. Okay, so I'm trying to be a little quiet and incognito because of where I am, and I'm sure you can already tell where that is. So this test is probably one of the most common uses of a Heroclip that I see, and I have no doubt that both the Heroclip and the 8Timber are going to do fine in this. And since I want to do this and get out of here, I'm only going to test the one 8Timber because I don't feel like there's a need to test the SB modded one for this. So here we go. This is the same 15-liter GoRuck bullet, completely fine, hangs no problem. 8Timber here. Completely fine, hangs no problem. And I don't know if you can or cannot hear the Tom Petty playing in the background because they are actively working directly on the other side of the wall. So there you go. Bathroom stall hang, both of them get a thumbs up. Okay, I noticed something when I came home from work, and I tried to take my backpack off with the 8Timber hooks. Let's see if I can recreate this. Of course, now it doesn't do it. Let me see. I was single shoulder slinging it because I only walked from the car to the house, and I had this hoodie on. So let me see. Grab it, throw it up on my shoulder. I was carrying some other stuff, so I probably adjusted it once or twice. This actually happened twice, so of course, now I can't recreate it on camera, but essentially what happened was I had it on my shoulder, and the hook, trying to do this with my phone is so hard. The hook, it got caught in my hoodie, and I was stuck. It was like struggling. I'm trying to do it on purpose now. I'm like posing the hook facing up, which I did not do, but now I cannot seem to recreate it, no matter how hard I try. But it happened 2 times when I was coming home. All right, so if I can get it on camera, I'll get it on camera. But if I can't, just note that the hook from the 8Timber got caught on my hoodie of my sweatshirt, and it was caught like right on the edge, so it was kind of like, this. When I took it off, this is how I had to like swing it around, set it down on the table, and popped it off. Because I was struggling. I didn't know what was happening at first. I forgot the 8Timber hook was there until I was trapped by it. I stopped filming and did it, and of course, it happened. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, as soon as I stopped filming, like literally about 2 seconds after I stopped the recording, I threw it up and just took it off, and that's what happens. The 8Timber got stuck on my hoodie, and all I did was same thing I just tried to do on camera. I threw it up on my shoulder, and then I went to take it off my back, and it didn't get caught. There, see? Got caught, so I kind of came in, and I set it down, and I unhooked it. Because honestly, I forgot the 8Timber was there, and I did not know what was stuck on my sweatshirt. So, 8Timbers, they will get caught on your hoodie. Okay, here's another pretty straightforward and simple one that's probably pretty common. Here is the Heroclip. Now we're actually out in the wilderness, so we're using a Matador Beast 28 that is considerably heavier than the GoRuck Bullet 15 that I have been EDCing. That's the Heroclip just fine. Now we have the 8Timber without the SB mod, so we will go ahead, switch. Okay, that is gripping just fine on the wood, no jiggle. Let's try that just one more time, because the bag is heavier, so it's really pulling down in. Plus, this is old and it's a little damp wood, so it's gonna get a little more grip. Now we'll switch over to with the SB mod, the 8Timber with the SB mod. And there we go, gripped, no problem. Just like the non-modded version. So flat, damp picnic table. They both did just fine, both the 8Timber and the Heroclip, with and without the SB mod. Okay, here's an interesting one. This is like a 2x6 or so. That's on an angle. There's one on each side. Their handrails on this bridge. So here is the Heroclip that caught. Okay, so there it is. That caught. Now we'll take the non-modded 8Timber hook, and I'm trying to do this with a glove because it's a little cold out here, and it's caught. It's hanging. It's barely on there. That's like just catching by a thread. Ooh, and it fell. We'll try the modded 8Timber hook, and it's also catching just on a thread. It looks like it might be touching a little bit of the SB mod, but I think it's mostly just the tip of the plastic. Let's try the Heroclip one more time, because I can kind of get the Heroclip to go all the way over, but okay, so the Heroclip can hook all the way over. Let's try the 8Timbers one more time. Oh, Jesus, it's stuck now. Okay, so we got the Heroclip is stuck. Okay, so I needed two hands. I had to lift it up and over, but the 8Timber will also hook, but I had to kind of grab the bag and tip it up with one hand and use my left hand to hook it over. So I needed two hands to both get the 8Timber on and to get the Heroclip off, and I'm sure to get the 8Timber off. So they will both work on this weird angled, but it's not the easiest way, but they both will handle it. Now these are where I think the 8Timber hook will shine. It's not this tree behind me, but it is at the same park. There's a tree that I like to take my thumbnails and some photos of bags hanging on when I'm doing hiking packs or day packs. Now, the little nubs, these little nodules, they will defeat the Heroclip because the tree I normally use, they're a little too thick for the Heroclip to loop around. And if I can get the grab handle for the bag over them, I'll still take the picture. But there are often times where I can't get the grab handle on it, and I'll find a different spot. It's not really a big deal, but this is where I think that the 8Timber hooks are really going to shine, and it's because I feel like I can utilize them in reverse. So let's switch them around. I'm only going to do one because the way I'm going to use it, it won't matter if it's the SB mod or the plain out the box 8Timber hook. Okay, so I did need 2 hands to hang it because I was hanging it from the compression cord and not from the plastic hook. So I did need to kind of hold it in with one hand and kind of loop it around the broken branch with the other. But this is basically what I was thinking initially when I saw these 8Timbers, to use it actually in reverse, to hook it's a shock cord. It's got a little bounce to it, so the shock cord on there, and then use the hook on the grab handle of the bag instead of doing it in reverse like this and looping the shock cord through the grab handle and using the hook. Now this branch, it's small enough it's small enough that both the 8Timber hook and the Heroclip will probably catch it, and I'll do that to show you. But again, the tree I normally use, the broken branches off it are much thicker, and the hook from the Heroclip, it's defeated, it can't get over it. So that's why I feel like this is a more versatile hook for an outdoor setting in the wilderness. But if you do have a smaller branch, the Heroclip works just fine. And also the 8Timber will work just fine if you got these smaller broken branches. But something kind of like that one is a little thicker, it probably won't hook like this, and you'll have to use it in reverse and end up hanging it like that. 8Timber hook with the SB mod hanging just fine on the hammock. It's an Inu hammock, and that's just the straps to make it easier to hang it. I don't need to test both because it hangs just fine with the SB mod. It goes, actually you can see a little over and past the mod, so both hooks are going to hang just fine. And there we have the Heroclip doing the exact same thing. Both of these handling this job just fine, keeping my bag up off the ground and allowing me a nice relaxing moment in the woods. Okay, so it's been about 2 weeks or so. We've done a fair bit of testing, comparing 1-to-1. I did, again, most of my EDC testing, at least with my GoRuck Bullet 15. I did also use them with my Granite Gear Dagger 22, as I'm currently using as a dad bag, and I did use my Matador Beast 28 as my hike, which is my day pack, my hiking pack, and I tested them with them. And as I did guess, the 8Timber hooks definitely shined more in the wilderness, and the Heroclip definitely did better in the EDC realm. Now, as I came to call the Stephen Boyd mod the SB mod, it did really help, especially on the desk hang, where it gave that little bit of grip that was much needed on the very tip, and it definitely helped the bag from swaying and swinging. Where again, this all came about because I did a quick little 1-to-1 test between the 8Timber and the Heroclip on the desk hang, which is a very common hang, desk or tabletop hang. And I did that at just like an unlisted link, dropped it in the TPP Facebook group, and just put it out there. And it got a lot of views really quick, so I made it public. I think some people got some value from that video. So definitely doing the SB mod really helped. And all it was this tiny little chunk that I have in my pocket here. It's just a tiny little piece. I believe this is 1/4 inch dual wall tubing. And really, I didn't even measure it, so I don't even know how long it is, but I kind of just crammed it on there. And this is the other end of the piece I used here, which was about half the tubing. So this is probably about 3/4 of an inch. It's probably about 3/4 of an inch long. I believe it's 1/4 inch tubing. And I just pretty much took what I had stuck it on there, pinched it with my fingers, cut it with my scissors, crammed it back on there, melted it with a lighter, and it hasn't budged. It's been on there throughout the testing, but that's all this was. It's just a piece of 3-to-1 ratio dual walled heat shrink tubing, and again, that really helped in the EDC, especially for like that desk hang, where originally, before I even filmed it, when I was just doing it for my own curiosity, when I hung this bag with this 8Timber, it walked itself. It almost fell off the desk. It kind of was just hanging on the very tip, because when I put it on there, it just kind of rocked and walked itself almost off the desk. And it did that a few times. It didn't quite fall, but I did get a lot better results once I did the SB mod to it. So I highly recommend you grab yourself some heat shrink tubing, throw it on there. The heat shrink tubing comes in great, especially if you're doing, if you want to redo your paracord pulls on your Go Rug. All these are is gutted paracord, and I believe it's 1/4 inch, 3-to-1 ratio, dual walled heat shrink tubing, which is why I bought the heat shrink tubing in the first place, as I redid my GR1 zipper pulls. So I bought some heat shrink tubing, and I've actually used it for other zipper pulls and other projects at this time, but it's great. So Stephen Boyd, thank you for noticing my video and getting a little DIY and doing that mod. It worked really good. Now for the general uses, like small tubing, like I was hanging off my bike or hanging on a fence, anything like that, either hook is going to work perfect. Like there's not going to be an issue with smaller things for the hook to grip. They both work totally fine, but the main uses that I see are desk hang or table hang and the bathroom hang. And the most popular hook size being the size medium Heroclip, which I'm guessing is why the 8Timber hook is roughly the same dimensions, because this is the most popular size. It's extremely versatile. You can definitely get it on a few things. I only really had that one fail at the trampoline park, which I didn't film the fail because I was struggling to try to get my daughter's shoes out of the pack, and I couldn't hook it with either of the hooks on the that big thicker tubing, and I was just hurrying up, and I felt a little embarrassed to go back and try to film it after I tried to film it and completely failed. So I just took the one shot of the hook of the tube that it didn't fit on, and it was probably a few inches thick. It was probably like 3-inch tubing maybe, so it was a little thicker, 3.5 maybe ish. It was kind of thick, so neither of the hooks, they both failed. Neither of them could get around it, so that was a fail for both of them. But that's the only thing that I would say was a complete failure. That slant 2x6 was not pretty. When I did do it with two hands, it was much easier for both the 8Timber and the Heroclip, but trying to do it one-handed while holding an iPhone and filming it, that didn't go over very well. But I will say my original thought was that these Heroclips, or these 8Timber clips, were going to really excel using them in reverse on some of those tree stumps when I'm out hiking. And it did. It worked really well. The branch that I use is a lot thicker than the ones that I was trying to demonstrate on, where the Heroclip wouldn't hook around it. So if I could get a grab handle to go around it, if you go back and see some of my thumbnails or some of my slow motion B-roll shots, it's generally hanging from the handle, the grab handle of the packs, because the Heroclip wasn't big enough to grip on the little nub. But with the shock cord, I got some stretch to it, and I got a lot more room to play with here. I can fit this over a lot of those tree branch nubs, using it in reverse, then using it the way it was meant to. So it actually really shined. I did have the 8Timbers, like you saw, it got caught on my hoodie trying to take the backpack off, so that was a bit of an issue. But again, for me, I think I will be using these more in my hiking packs, my day packs, as opposed to my EDC. So I don't think it's gonna be that big of an issue. But for you, if you're going to be EDCing this and you have it attached to your grab handle, beware that you may or may not snag your hood every once in a while and get stuck. But ultimately, they're both a good value. 20 bucks for 5 of these, and you do that little SB DIY mod that, I mean, I think I bought a kit of multiple size, multiple color, dual wall heat shrink on Amazon. I want to say I spent like $12 to $16 on it, and I've used it for so many different things, but I can do 4 of them with one piece of the tubing, because again, this was about 1/4 of the tube. I probably used the other half on a zipper pull, because if you look, the Bullet 15, this is not 550 cord, this is smaller. On the GRs and the Ruckers, the GR1s and the Ruckers, it's 550 cord, so it's thicker and probably a little bit longer. This was about half the length I used, and I had a half of it left, which this is about half the length of the tube, and this was cut in half. So this is roughly 1/4 of the length of the tubes that I got. So I mean, unless you buy the long wall, you could do 4 out of the 5 with one piece of heat shrink. And it works, again, so much better. It makes this so much better. I'm probably going to slap this piece on here as soon as we're done wrapping up the video, because I wanted to do a 1-2-3 more or less. So I did a 1-to-1, but it was more like a 1-to-2, if you will, because I tested both of these in most of the situations, just to see how much better the DIY mod would grip certain things. And in certain situations, it didn't matter if I can really hook it. It didn't matter if I had the SB modded one or the plain one. But a lot of the times when I'm doing things like the table hang, the SB mod definitely won over the non-modded version. So again, 20 bucks for 5 of these, really good buy. 23 bucks for one Heroclip size medium, really good buy. You're probably not gonna lose with either of them. I'm not gonna say one's better than the other. I will say the Heroclip is better in an EDC situation, and the 8Timber hooks are better in the outdoor situation. I just found these to be a lot more versatile in outdoors as opposed to the Heroclip. So really, I'm not gonna say one's better than the other, because they both work really, really well. They're both at a very good price point, and depending upon what you're going to be using them for, they're both going to definitely win in their own situations. So yeah, neither of them are bad, neither of them are better than the other. They're both just really, really good for 2 different situations. So if you're considering one over the other, honestly, I'd say just get both. Get the 5-pack of the 8Timbers, get a single $23 size medium Heroclip. It's probably the most common, the most versatile, and that's why I believe the 8Timber is roughly the size it is, because the Heroclip, which is extremely popular in the carry community, is roughly the same size. You get a little bit longer hook on the 8Timber than you do on the Heroclip, but you get a little bit of a wider hook on the Heroclip than you do with the 8Timber. So I mean, your mileage may vary depending upon what you're using them for or your own personal preference, but I found, once again, the 8Timbers worked better in an outdoor situation, where the Heroclip worked a lot better in an EDC situation. So neither is better than the other, and both completely worth their price point. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications next time I post a brand new video. Good night.